Welcome back, everybody. Today we are riding 19 out of Princeton all the way to Beckley. Right here, 19 south of Princeton. Pretty much there's just a very short little piece right there. I think it's only like a couple miles, and then it's all 4 lane from there south until it ends. Now, going north here, there's all kinds of little towns, Kegley, Spanisburg, several other ones there. Is it Camp Creek or whatever? And you get up here, you got Flat Top, Gant, and right in all the way into Beckley there. And this is a really cool ride here. Um, yeah, it stays all 2 lane all the way up through the middle of Beckley there, right up to where 19, right before the what's that called, the toll road there, and it comes right up there, and you go jump on the 4 lane. So we're gonna start out right here in the middle of Princeton here. Like I said, everything behind me, you run out and it's about 2 miles, and it turns into 4 lane on the south side of Princeton there. So I didn't ride that out. There's no reason to. There's literally nothing there. So, but there's a good bit of riding through town there and stuff. And there's nothing uh, too bad about that. That's Princeton, for the size and the population, really isn't that bad to ride through. You know what I mean? Uh, most of that there was just fast forward through because there was nothing going on. It was just your normal West Virginia back road. But there's a lot to see. I mean, this covers a lot of country. I think it was. Let me check. I think it was 44 miles. Yeah, 44 miles from Princeton to Beckley. Took me about 15 minutes to ride this, and it could probably be done a little bit faster. Um, Not too much further up the road here. At some point, I get behind the big bad biker gang, and I don't know where they were from. Just a bunch of actual just over the road riders, and they didn't really know the road, and they were, of course, I think there was like 8 or 9. It might have been 10 of them, but they rode fast, but not you know not fast. I mean, I think they were doing a lot of sightseeing too, but I kind of got stuck behind them for a while. Now there's a lot of up and down hillsides and curvy roads on this. It's really an enjoyable ride, and it for the most part, this road is really good shape. Now, when you get into Beckley and stuff, like I think right before Beckley, I can't remember the name of that town. I just said it there, but you'll see it. There's all kinds of road construction and stuff, but it was super super rough. You'll see in the video towards the end there, like how if you're riding in a big pack of people, I was getting accordion because there was a couple times I had to stop, like the road was that bad. But it's actually in a construction zone, so you're not going to be flying up on anything anyways. The traffic picks up there, so it's not like it's going to be unseen and you just hit a big hole out of nowhere. This little town, Kegley, I know I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. That's a cool little place there. I don't know if they had much going on. There is plenty of, I think there's several gas stations and places to stop. This isn't like Nowheresville, you know what I mean? There's places to stop, stores. There's several routes that, you know, come in and join in with 19 and run with 19 and, offset routes and stuff like that. So, at no point do that there, what was that, 10? I do believe that was 10. Um, yeah, that's a route that if that was 10 right there, it'll run you clear over to below Charleston, around Charleston. I can't remember which side of Charleston it comes out on, but it's like a 3 hour ride roughly from right there to Charleston. So I went 19, but that route's coming up because that's an insane road. Uh, but yeah, back to the road here. Uh, it's actually in all in good shape and stuff. Now, a full disclaimer here. Uh, this video was done Memorial Day weekend, and you know we've had a lot of flooding since Memorial Day weekend. A lot of flooding, and so just beware that this was this video was pre-flooding. This is pre-flooding, so uh, as far as I know, this area didn't get hit with anything like Wheeling and Marion County, and then your northern counties got the worst of it. So just keep that in mind, though. I don't want anybody thinking, well, that road looked fine. He just put it out this weekend, and the road looked fine. No, this video was done on Memorial Day weekend, so just keep that in mind. And as like with weather stuff like that, I will update you guys if the video was done weeks before, like you're seeing it. That way, you're not you're not thinking that road is fine. Uh, there was there's some low laying places in this, and there's a lot of you're by rivers and you know like that inside ditch line right there. But as far as that goes, most of everything I seen on this road was good. Like I don't think I even seen any washout places. Now, as I'm saying that, the ditch line is full of trees and stuff like that, but that was only like a half-mile stretch. There was some, small brush and things like that, but it wasn't really that bad. This here little area right here was super nice. It was a huge, huge valley, and they had the rock cliffs and stuff like that. It was really nice. Like I super enjoyed this ride, and it was one of those rides like 44 miles on a 2 lane in one time isn't nothing to sneeze at, but it it seemed to me like it took forever to get to Beckley. I don't know why, but it might have been just because I was stuck behind these guys. Right up here is where I actually get right in behind them, and I follow them literally. I think they get on like 64, like a couple miles before the Beckley, or we might actually cross the Beckley, city limit. So, so maybe that was it. I don't know. If you see jump aheads there it was usually I never cut. I don't think I actually cut 10 minutes out of this ride. That's why there's so many fast forwards. Still, you guys let me know which way you like that better. If you like the fast forwarding, at least you can see everything. If there's something you want to look at, you can pause it. Like I said in the previous video, like once I start this voiceover, I can't control the video. So like if I want to tell you about a sign or something, I can't pause the video and talk about it and then unpause it and continue the video. So that being said, yeah, this video here is one of the videos that's prominently that was turn off here for 77. There's all kinds of those in this stretch in these 44 miles. But this video is prominently fast forward. Instead of editing out sections, I'd rather you be able to see all the road. It might be in fast forward, but I'd rather you be able to see. I mean, you can obviously see right here, the landscapes really don't change. So, you're riding through here, you got trees on one side, hillside on the other, slope, ditch line. But like I didn't want to cut this stuff out because you can still see the road and kind of know what you're up against if you're planning on riding this, or if you are riding this, you're like, oh yeah, I remember this here, and when the next thing up here, the 77's right up here. So I mean, that way it could be more, you know, you get to see more of the landscape, I guess, and your surrounding areas. I tried not to do I tried to do it as much as possible. This video ended up being, I don't like having my videos over 30 minutes because then you got to sit here for 30 minutes watching it. But it's like, it's an hour long ride, so you know what I mean? It's all I can do. So, but that being said, um, the Princeton side of 19 is really good. The road wise, like I said earlier, there is so many on and offs here for the 4 lanes, like 77, 64, and so on and so forth. I think you can take 10 off of this, 3. There's another one too, and I can't remember what it was. You'd think I'd write this stuff down and memorize it, but by the time I completely edit these videos and go through it, by the time I get the voiceover, I can't remember what I'm doing. So that's my bad. But if you guys, want me to do that, comment. Hey man, why don't you take notes and let us know what all roads are off there. But that's something like, when you pull it up on maps, you can obviously see what routes cut off of it and where they're at. That's I don't want to say that's not my purpose in the videos, but I mean, I'd still like to help and things. But I mean, just let me know. You know what I mean? I'd comment and say, hey, I like this or I don't like that. But yeah, up here in one section here, I think the street signs. I've won a couple videos without complaining about those. I guess they get the lead guy or someone in the pack, because we come around to turn, and I had just caught when I got up there, I couldn't figure out. I thought something happened because we stalled clear up, and I had just caught a glimpse of the sign. I don't even remember if it's in the video, but the sign said 15-mile-an-hour turn, and like they piled on the brakes because they obviously didn't know the road, and we were running around. I mean, I could have easily 45, 50 to turn, and I think they realized that once they got into it, but not knowing, you know what I mean? So it's just one of those things. And that's another thing about, big packs. Your lead guy probably should know where he's going. Like I said, I don't know who it was because they were up around the turn, and I caught the back 4 bikes, and they were pretty much stopped. I almost had to stop. I'm assuming that it was the turn that had the wrong speed limit that got them. So, but that being said, I'm done rambling about that. I'll leave that alone because I go on for days about those stinking things. But as we progress on here, but another with the flooding and stuff, when we have these big torrential downpours and stuff, it is always a good idea to check your like say you're planning to ride to the mountains over in Dolly Sods or over to Petersburg. Kind of check the previous couple days weather. If they had 2 inches of rain in the last yesterday, or if you're going riding on a Saturday and they got a bunch of rain on Thursday, you're probably going to run into a bunch of washouts and things, or maybe even still mud and stuff on the roads. So that being said, I just wanted to throw that out there because I was literally going to do the last I think 20-ish miles of 16 north from 50 up to St. Mary's. It's like the only part of 16 in the entire state of West Virginia I hadn't done. And I had planned on doing it, then they got all that flooding up in Wheeling. I'm like, I'm not going to try it. I'll give it a week or two, because you get up there and come around the turn, and there's all kinds of mud or wash out, big rock, and there you lay. But that being said, just when you have Mother Nature involved in this, it's better to kind of check, so you know what I mean. If they've had some flooding or something, just kind of heading another direction. But that's just me. You guys do whatever you want to. But yeah, it, they did. Of course, they were looking at stuff and enjoying their ride. I was enjoying my ride too, but I was I was heading somewhere. But this is all pretty good country. Like a lot of this, uh, it almost looks like the scenery never changes as I ride, but it does. I don't know if you guys, that house there was kind of cool. I guess they're in the lighthouses or something. But a lot of your roads in West Virginia are built or designed about the same way. They cut it out of a hillside, and one side there's nothing there other than guardrail and trees, and the other side's a slope. So, but like I said, I try to fast forward through them areas. There's Here's what I'm talking about. Like, there's plenty of gas stations and places to stop. You know, even your little 100-mile bobbers could do this right here. So. But as you can tell, like the road, even there, it's degrading a little bit on the sides, but like you could still ride the white line and not be concerned with it. I missed a nice field over there. I don't know what I was looking at, but it wasn't that field. Sometimes I swear to you, like that camera, my eyes are on it, but the camera, like I must not turn my head, or how you use a side glance while you're riding for self-preservation. That must be what I do, because I'm like, I seen that field over there, but the camera never looked at it, and the camera's attached to my head, so you would think it would see it, but I guess that's me. I've actually thought about, like my wife was on this ride with me. I've thought about running the second camera, but for the most part, like, she doesn't look at anything. She doesn't like enjoy nature. So she enjoys riding, but like the outside world. So she doesn't like. I'm like, man, look at that waterfall. That's gorgeous. She's like, I didn't even see water. So I don't know if it'd help anymore to put a camera on her or not. Probably just staring at the back of my head the whole time. And there's that much more footage I gotta go through. So that's the life I live, I suppose. You can see there was a couple places right there that that little patches and stuff. At no point in time in this ride was there anything that was even really that rough. So I'll definitely point it out in the video, because it got bad. I think that not the bike directly in front of me, the one directly in front of him, he hit a big hole. I don't know if he just didn't see it or couldn't swerve around it in that road construction. I thought he was going to go down. Felt pretty sorry for the guy, but I guess that is what it is. But you're going so slow in that road construction because they got the lanes closed down, and you're passing cars on one lane of the road, so it's a little tight, but it wasn't that bad. But it was just terrible, terrible road. It's probably the worst. No, no, the worst section of road I've ridden on for a long time is coming up short, or coming up in probably the next video. It was bad. It was real bad. Now you can see right here, coming in this town. I wish I could tell you what town it was, but you're not that far out of Beckley now. There's a lot of construction. It starts from here and goes all the way up to the south side of Beckley. Like, none of this here is real bad, but I'll point out where it's I mean, you'll be able to see it. I mean, even in fast forward mode, you could see that. Now you can see right here, as soon as the Jersey barriers start, the road is deteriorating. Through here is not terrible, terrible. You're still able to miss the stuff, but you got a lot of them long, tore out sections. Right through here is real bad, and continuing, like you'll have a little section that's okay, but from here on out, man, it's you gotta completely watch yourself. Them guys were actually pointing out stuff from, to me too, using their heel and pointing out the holes, which I really appreciated. Uh, Kudos to them for doing that. Only I followed them for like 30 miles, and then they just veered off to the right and never seen them again. Yeah, this up through here was like stopping. Now there's no. This is all flowing traffic. I don't know what happened up there. I don't know if like there was a hole or a car turning off, or whatever, or one of them guys were trying to miss stuff. But this is super rough. There's gravel being drug out, like super super rough. I don't know if you can tell it. Like I'm looking at a 2x3 screen right now because, like I said, once I go in the voiceover, like I can't look at it, do anything with it. And it's really annoying. But yeah, I'm sure you could tell how rough that was in the video. So like all this is still rough. I know I'm kind of harping on that, but like there was a couple spots there where I was actually concerned because them guys accordioned a couple times, and I was concerned that like one would, you know, go to his right or left to, stay off the guy and hit a big hole or something. Yeah, you got to be careful in those situations there, especially if you're not familiar with the road and oncoming traffic and things like that. So, but as you can see, I mean, you're pretty much under construction from that last little town, whatever it is. There goes my escort. I waved at him. I don't know why. And I'm an idiot. Like none of them were looking at me, and I just waved out of nowhere. Um, from there on up, the road is, rideable, but there's still pretty rough spots. There's no more. It's not messed up and tore up like it is back there, but that was pretty rough. It's one of those times when you're kind of glad that you were going slow or had to go slow for the road construction, because if you had hit any of that at speed, it might be replacing a rim or a kneecap. It's hard to tell. But outside of that, like the this ride was super super enjoyable. Once you start getting up into the towns and stuff, it is what it is. Uh, Anytime, I'll say this every time. I didn't say anything sitting there. Anytime you're riding alongside of cutout roads like that, where you got rock high walls, always pay attention, because that stuff's going to move and fall all the time. So you're going to have stuff in the road, little tiny rocks to big rocks. So just be mindful of that. Like anytime you have rock ledges, there's a possibility of rocking the road. I was trying to read what that said. Sorry. I think here's where 3. I think this is 3. Yeah, right there. Merges and comes up with you. I think there's another one. At some point in time, you merge with 16 up here. I think that was it right back there. And like I said, there's all kinds of play you can jump on. But I've always went this way. Like I've jumped on, like if I was coming up the 4-lane, like out of Virginia or whatever, I'd always jump over there around Flat Top. That way I didn't have to pay the tolls, because I couldn't even tell you when that toll road or them toll booths were put in there to pay for that road. But it's been my entire life. So there's a Beckley city limit. So I'm not giving them $4 to ride my motorcycle down their road. I pay enough in taxes and gas taxes. It's not my fault they have no idea how to spend money. But moving on here, Beckley, outside of like if you're riding 19 and going through the middle of town and stuff up here, it's not really that bad. I've seen it kind of bad, but like if you're not hitting it in the middle of the week at you know 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock, and same thing with the morning. Mornings ain't as bad. We did a big job, a couple miles up the road from the 19 turnoff, and I worked in this area for like almost 2 years, and at no point in time was it ever really bad. So even if I don't think I've ever seen it bad on Saturday. It might be like at dinner time when everybody's going out shopping or going to dinner or something. But like there's a lot of stop sign or stop lights, but no, it still doesn't. It's not that bad. You know what I mean? So uh, that being said, it's it's still kind of enjoyable. Plus, there's all kinds of cool places down through here to eat. If like I don't know if any of you know what the cookout is. It's kind of a fast food cheapo. I don't know how you would classify it, but I've always liked the cookout. As far as go in and get something real quick to eat, and their food's actually pretty good. I've always liked it. It's right there, but they have a lot of good restaurants down here, and I mean you got nice restaurants. Then you got like all your fast foods. But I've always liked the cookout. I mean, you can go in there and get a corn dog. So it's just whatever you want to eat. But like I said, I worked in this area, and that was a cool place to go for dinner and stuff like that. And you didn't want to wait in line for 6 hours try to get seated or something. But yeah, we're almost to the end. Like I ride this all the way until it gets on a 4 lane. Well, where it turns right and you get back, jump on 19, you know, and it continues up through Summersville and stuff like that. I did not ride that. I actually stopped the video where it turns into 4 lane because we continued straight off of 19. If you continue north on 19, it actually just turns into 16 there at the overpass, and we continued 16 all the way to Big Otter on 79, and it was horrible. It was like 80 miles, and like out through clay and stuff like that. I'll probably never ride that road again. But that'll be the next video. But this really is like there wasn't a lot of big nice moments, but there was a lot of cool things. Plus, if you're in Princeton and you want to go and you're going north, especially if you're going to run 4 lane 19, which almost everybody I know does, uh, I would definitely just jump on 19 in Princeton and ride it up. I mean, if you're on a bike, you shouldn't be in a big hurry. I mean, I'm always in a hurry, so it doesn't matter. But it's very enjoyable. So I kind of recommend this ride here. So yeah, it was definitely worth it. The Princeton side, I had never. I don't think I was ever on. I know that like I've gotten on there at Beckley and went down, and there used to be a big boom store down there, probably about 5 miles, and we'd go down there and stuff. But I don't think been any further south than that. But yeah, the video is going to end right up the road here. As far as that goes, the road overall is pretty good, other than that construction zone. The there's not a lot of debris and stuff in the ditch lines. The traffic until you get into actual town is almost non-existent. But you do roll through a lot of little towns. They're cool little towns. But yeah, I do appreciate you guys watching. Keep watching them. Share. And please comment. I want to know what you guys like, what you dislike. If you're enjoying these, I'm gonna keep putting them out just because I can, and I carry cameras anyways. So just let me know. Please comment. Please share. Like, and if you guys start watching them, give me a shout out, whatever. And just remember to keep looking for the red bike with the sparkly green helmet, because I'm out there, literally. But yeah, this little area here, right here, as soon as you get off the 4 lane, it's kind of a busy section through here and stuff too. So just watch yourself. Everybody, be careful out there. Keep enjoying riding, and always check ahead. Don't just go out route routing, and without checking. So you guys be careful out there. Thanks for watching.